We are going to be talking about two very important topics among the Asian communities, what I call silent killers among Asians. The first one we're going to talk about is chronic hepatitis B. I am going to present mainly awareness. I'm not here to sell you anything. We're just trying to promote disease awareness. And a second topic will be on gastric cancer, which is another silent killer among the Asian communities. Now, what is hepatitis? Hepatitis, by definition, just means inflammation of the liver. There are various causes of hepatitis in terms of causing the inflammation. There's obviously, classically, alcohol, some of the herbs, believe it or not. There are viral causes. There's hepatitis A, B, C, D. There's herpes virus, cytomegalovirus, just to name a few. But we are going to talk about hepatitis B today. Some of the parasites will cause hepatitis, some flukes, amoebas, just to name a few. Obviously, cancer itself of the liver can cause inflammation as well. And of course, such as other parts of the body with cancer, such as colon, classically it's spread or metastasized to the liver. Now, what is hepatitis B? A little bit more about it. Its most common modes of transmission, as far as hepatitis B, is the mother to child during childbirth, unprotected sexual activities with an infected person, exposure to blood products, contaminated needles, medical equipment. Those can all lead to infection of chronic hepatitis B as well as acute hepatitis B. There is a vaccine available. Now, as far as hepatitis B goes, it is different from hepatitis A as well as hepatitis C, even though all three of them are viral causes of the liver. Hepatitis A, as you know, you always hear that in the newspaper, some outbreak associated with food, restaurant, unsanitary issue. It's fecal-oral transmission. There is a vaccine associated with hepatitis A, whereas hepatitis C, the transmission is very similar to hepatitis B, but unfortunately, there is no vaccine associated with hepatitis C. Now, a little bit more about how do we distinguish between acute versus chronic hepatitis B. Acute just means this acute infection of the hepatitis B virus in one's liver. By definition, it's from time 0 until 6 months, whereas any longer than that, more than 6 months, it becomes a chronic problem. There is some very associated interesting information about chronic hepatitis B is that the younger the person is first exposed to this hepatitis B virus, the more likely they will develop chronic hepatitis B. And that is very important, as we will see from the future slides. Now, this is different from hepatitis C. The younger the person is exposed to hepatitis C, the better in terms of clearing that virus from the body so they don't lead to a chronic phase. Hepatitis B is a global, serious matter. It is a very common disease. As you can see from this slide, in the world, 350 million people have this disease right now. That's more than the entire population of the United States. It is one of the top 10 causes of death worldwide. It is 100 times more infectious than the HIV virus that causes AIDS. So this is a major issue. Now, even though the United States is not heavily infected with chronic hepatitis B, but it's still very serious. It causes 4,000 to 5,000 deaths in the US alone. Percent ever infected is about 5% here in the United States. But why do we care about chronic hepatitis B? Chronic hepatitis B, as you can see from the left side, it the hepatitis B virus infects your body. It goes through the acute phase. In more than 6 months, it becomes a chronic infection. It causes damage, inflammation to your liver continuously. That inflammation can lead to liver cirrhosis, which is hardening of the liver. Cirrhosis ultimately can lead to liver failure, and unfortunately, it can go to liver cancer. So that's why we really want to prevent all these steps. 25 doses of chronic hepatitis B end up with liver cirrhosis and cancer without proper management. 60 to 80% of primary liver cancer worldwide is caused by chronic hepatitis B. Chronic hepatitis B is a silent threat. Half of all people with chronic hepatitis B shows no symptoms. They don't even they have it. That's the scary part. People who have the chronic hepatitis B virus may infect others without knowing. It's not that they're doing it on purpose. They don't even know. People often find out they have the hepatitis B virus after they get really sick, so they go to the doctor checked them out and found out, whoop, you have chronic hepatitis B, and sometimes they present with cancer, and obviously that's already too late. Unfortunately, there is no cure for chronic hepatitis B infection at this time, but there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies are working on a cure, but there are currently a lot of effective treatment available. Now, prevention, like I said, is the most important way to prevent this disease. Most effective being is just to get vaccination. First shot is at time 0, second shot, which is 1 month later, and third shot, which is 6 months after the first shot. Fortunately, here in the United States, children born after 1992 are all vaccinated by federal law. But children before that, 1992 birth, you need to get tested if you're born in the United States before 92. You need all 3 shots to get protected.